plumbing section of the InterNACHI Home Inspection Standards of Practice course. According to the Standards of Practice, the home inspector shall inspect the main water supply shutoff valve, the main fuel supply shutoff valve, the water heating equipment, interior water supply, including all the fixtures and faucets by running the water, all the toilets by flushing it, all the sinks by running water, tubs and showers, taking a look at the drainage, the drain waste and vent system, and drainage sump pumps with accessible floats. The main water shutoff valve refers to the master shutoff valve that should be located where the house service main enters the building. The house service main begins at the street curb valve and ends at the inside wall of the building at the master shutoff valve. A homeowner should know where the curb valve is located. It is a way for the main water supply to be turned off. It is typically located at the junction of the public water main and the house service main, usually at the street. The curb valve is typically the responsibility of the local water department. According to the Standards of Practice, the home inspector shall describe whether the water supply is public or private based upon observed evidence. The inspector shall describe the location of the main water supply shutoff valve and the location of the main fuel supply shutoff valve and the location of any observed fuel storage systems and the capacity of the water heating equipment, if labeled. This inspection image is of the water meter next to the main water shutoff valve. The inspector described that the water supply is public, not private, based upon observed evidence of a water supply line and water meter. The home inspector is not required to determine the flow rate, volume, pressure, or adequacy of the water supply. Inspectors should determine whether the water supply is from a private well or a public supply. If the inspector cannot make that determination, the inspection report should disclaim that system identification. It should explain that the inspection did not include a determination of whether or not the water supplied to the house was public or private. An inspector may recommend water testing of a private water source to determine the safety of the supply, but this is not required by the Standards of Practice. This inspection image is of the water shutoff valve next to the main water meter in the front of the basement of a house. According to the Standards of Practice, a home inspector is required to describe the location of the main water supply shutoff valve. This inspection image is of a public gas meter and the main fuel shutoff valve located next to the meter at the front of the house. This inspection image is of the main fuel shutoff valve at the gas meter. This inspection image is of a water heater tank. The home inspector is not required to determine the temperature of the water supplied to the fixtures. The inspector should describe the capacity of the water heating equipment, if labeled. The inspection image here is of the manufacturer's label attached to the water heater tank. This tank is 50 gallons in size, and the home inspector is not required to measure and evaluate the adequacy of the water heater. This is an inspection image of a gas shutoff valve next to the water heater tank. The tank is gas-fired. That's the energy source. The home inspector is not required to operate any valve. This is an inspection image of the vent connection pipes that are part of the water heater tank's exhaust system, which includes a draft fan. The vent connection pipes are made of PVC plastic. And this is an inspection image of the water heater tank's temperature pressure relief valve, TPR valve. It extends to the floor and is properly installed. Home inspectors are required to inspect the water heater's temperature pressure relief valve, TPR valve. Now, the 2018 International Residential Code describes more than 12 requirements that a TPR discharging pipe or discharge piping must meet, and that's in 2018 IRC section 504.6. The inspector is not required to operate the TPR valve, but it needs to be present and it should have a proper discharge line and termination. Because a TPR valve may be filled with corrosion or debris, the operation of the valve may cause the valve to open and not close back again. So, home inspectors should not operate any valves, including shutoff and TPR valves. This is an inspection image of a bathroom sink fixture running water. The inspection image included a check for functional drainage. The inspection image here is of a bathroom toilet being flushed and filling up the tank with water. The inspection included a check for functional drainage. Here's an inspection image of a bathroom tub fixture running water. The inspection included a check for functional drainage. The home inspector is not required to test shower pans, tub and shower surrounds, or enclosures for leakage or functional overflow protection. Here's an inspection image of a bathroom shower fixture running water. The inspection included a check for functional drainage. Here's an inspection image of a laundry tub fixture running water. The inspection included a check for functional drainage. Here's an inspection of a bathroom large bathing tub fixture that is running water. The inspection included a check for functional drainage. Here's an inspection image of a kitchen sink fixture running water. Guess what it included? A check for functional drainage. The inspection image above is of a kitchen dishwasher after running a short cycle with running water. The inspection included a check for functional drainage from the dishwasher. If the dishwasher does not drain properly, that is a defect. The inspector must inspect drain, waste, and vent DWV, that system. The inspection image here is of PVC DWV pipes, including fittings, indications of cleaning and gluing, support, and a cleanout. The inspector is not required to determine whether there are sufficient cleanouts. The inspection image here is of a sump pump in a house basement. The inspection is restricted. Why? Because the lid is secured. The pump's float is inaccessible. There's a battery backup system installed at the sump pump. That's good. The observations and the restrictions to the inspection of the system's components and performance was documented in the inspection report. Here's an inspection image of copper water supply pipes. The inspector is not required to determine the existence or condition of polybutylene, polyethylene, or similar plastic piping. According to the standards of practice, the inspector shall report as in need of correction deficiencies in the water supply by viewing the functional flow in two fixtures operated simultaneously. The inspector shall report as in need of correction deficiencies in the installation of hot and cold water faucets. The inspector shall report as in need of correction active plumbing water leaks that are observed during the inspection. And the inspector shall report as in need of correction toilets that were damaged, had loose connections to the floor, were leaking, or had tank components that did not operate. Functional flow. Home inspector may notice a significant drop in water flow when the bathroom sink, bathroom tub, and shower fixtures are all turned on at the same time. This observation may be communicated in the inspection report as a concern related to the flow in two or more fixtures that were operated simultaneously. In the 2018 International Plumbing Code, IPC, Section 604, there are requirements for the water distribution system such that under conditions of peak demand, the capacities at the fixture supply pipe outlet meet a certain minimum. For example, the minimum flow rate at a bathtub fixture is 4 gallons per minute and 2.5 gallons per minute for a shower fixture. In this inspection image, there is flow of water observed at a shower fixture, and it's very low. This condition occurred while the bathroom sink fixture was turned on and was running water, which also demonstrated a low flow of water. Correction and further evaluation by a plumber was recommended. Here's another inspection image of a bathroom sink fixture mentioned previously, which had a low flow of water while the shower fixture was turned on at the same time during the inspection. Inspectors should report upon the functional flow of water through the fixtures. The most common method is to run 2 or more faucets or fixtures at the same time. Significant drops in water flow, at an individual faucet during this test can be a sign of either poor water supply or partially clogged piping, which would require further professional evaluation. Some inspectors use water pressure and flow meters, but these are not required. Hot is on the left. It is conventional and standard plumbing practice to install the hot water control on the left side and the cold water on the right side. In the 2018 International Plumbing Code, IPC, section 607.4, the fixture fittings, faucets, and diverters must have the flow of hot water corresponding to the left-hand side of the fixture fitting. The inspection image above is of a tub with the hot water supplied on the incorrect side. The hot water should have been controlled by the left-hand side handle of the tub fixture. Correction and further evaluation by a plumber was recommended. Drain stops. Home inspectors may check for drain stops, that's the pop-up sink drain stopper, that are missing or do not operate. The 2018 International Residential Code, section P2711.3, states that a strainer, a pop-up stopper, crossbar, or other device should be installed to restrict the clear opening of a waste drain outlet. The home inspection image above, in this picture here, is of a bathtub drain stopper being checked. Toilets. You have to inspect the toilets. Home inspectors may flush the toilet once or twice and watch for functional drainage and water leakage. Home inspectors may use the side of their leg to lean lightly up against the side of the toilet in order to determine whether or not the toilet is loosely connected to the floor. If the toilet moves slightly, the watertight connection between the toilet and its drain pipe may leak. It is difficult to determine if a toilet is actively leaking because a leak would possibly drip within the floor system below the toilet and will not be readily visible or apparent. A toilet leak may become evident only after significant amounts of time has passed after the toilet was flushed. Sometimes a leak will make stains on the ceiling below, and this inspection image here is of a home inspector flushing a toilet. According to the standards of practice, the home inspector is not required to ignite or light pilot flames. You shouldn't ignite any flames. The home inspector is not required to measure the capacity, temperature, age, life expectancy, or adequacy of the water heater. The home inspector is not required to inspect the interior flues or chimneys, combustion air systems, water softening or filtering systems, well pumps or tanks, safety or shut-off valves, floor drains, lawn sprinkler systems, or fire sprinkler systems. The inspector is not required to determine the exact flow rate, volume, pressure, temperature, or adequacy of the water supply. The inspector is not required to determine the water quality. The inspector is not required to operate any valve. The inspector is not required to test shower pans and tubs for leakage. The inspector is not required to determine whether there are sufficient cleanouts for effective cleaning of the drains. The inspector is not required to inspect water treatment systems or water filters or wastewater treatment systems. The inspector is not required to evaluate or determine the adequacy of combustion air. And the inspector is not required to inspect or test for gas or fuel leaks or indications thereof. A home inspector can only comment and report on what he or she can see. The home inspector is not required to remove any fixed access panels. Many plumbing components are hidden in this way and are therefore not accessible for an inspection. Bath and shower drains are examples of components that simply cannot be inspected during a visual-only home inspection. The internal parts of other components, such as the bladder and a pressure tank, are generally inaccessible and cannot be evaluated for their condition. There are many components that a home inspector simply cannot see and are beyond the scope of a home inspection. The evaluation of septic or other sewage systems is likewise beyond the capabilities of most inspectors. In many states, this is a separately licensed profession. This is not part of a home inspection. Inspection of sprinkler systems or irrigation systems or equipment is not required by the standards of practice. Water filtration and water softening equipment and other systems should be evaluated and serviced by the original installers and the manufacturer's agents.